How to make millions in Star Citizen with just a starter ship. This guide shows you how to start making money. We want to get into our ship here. For my starter ship that I'm going to be using, I'm going to use the Aurora MR here. I'm just going to open up my Mobiglass here, F1, go to contracts, go all the way to mercenary. Once at mercenary, we're going to start off here with combat gauntlet. This scenario 1 will pay us 20k, but eventually we'll work our way up all the way to scenario 6, which will pay 151,000. Now, how will you be able to get here, which is a starter ship? Well, I'm going to show you exactly how you can get there by renting a constellation. Let's take scenario 1 here, just to take a look at the ships. So I'll quickly head over there, show you the ships, kill them, and then we'll see what scenario 2 looks like. Before I forget, to get these missions, I'm around Crusader, right? I'm already at the mission here. Let's take a look at the ships. So our first ship here is just a little cutter, not too difficult. Let's see if we can kill it. There we go. We've got small little repeaters. We can always loot its guns and put it on our ship. Cutter is getting pretty red, it barely shooting back. So this should be quite an easy fight for a newer player. There we go, we just killed it. Now we just need to wait for the next wave. Our next target here is a Pisces. Also shouldn't be too difficult since it's also a very small ship. There we go, Pisces is dead. Our last target here is a Prospector. Now this ship is very tanky. It might take a minute or two to kill it, but its weapons is very small. Managed to get its shields down. Now I'm gonna work on the hull. It's getting pretty red. We should have it soon. There we go. Now that we killed all the ships, I'm quickly gonna loot the little cutter that we saw. I'm not gonna loot the cutter. Their weapons is a little bit too big for the Aurora. I forgot. But we can still loot the Pisces for its weapons. They should fit. So I'm just gonna stop here. Now we can just take out our tractor beam. Hopefully you know how to get one by now. Unequip the weapon from the Pisces. And here we can just hold in R and we should be able to rotate the weapon until it snaps onto the wing. Sometimes it takes a bit finesse. Get it on there. Servers are pretty slow at the moment. Seems like the weapon doesn't want to equip this time around. Maybe it's buggy at the moment. I'm going to see if I can just throw it on the grid and manually equip it when we go to home base. The Pisces does have a grid at the bottom here. So I'm just going to throw it on the grid. You can see the weapon. It's stored there. Let's get the other one. There is the other one. You can see it highlights there on the left when you can snap it to the grid. So just remember to take them off when we arrive. Let's go see if we can equip them, because we will need them to speed things up just a little bit faster. Gives us a bit of more firepower. I'm just going to hit F2 and go to Serpent Station here. Here we go. We're at Serpent Station. I'm just quickly going to land. There we go. All landed. I'm going to take off the weapons from the cargo grid here. And then we'll equip it to the ship. So to take off the weapons, we're just going to try our best to take them off. Once you got them, you're going to put them on the cargo elevator here. Here is the first one. Just gonna throw it on here. It should snap. Here we go. Let's take the other one. Here is the other one. Let's see if we can also take it. There we go. Put it on the grid. Now we can just send it down. Once down, we can also send our ship down. Here's our Aurora MR. Store. Once stored, we can hit F1. Go to vehicles. Select Aurora. Go to vehicle weapons. And then here at the bottom, you can see there's 2 open slots for weapons. We can select our 2 little repeaters that we just looted. Hit save. If we use this method that I just showed you, then when we die, we will keep our weapons as well. So this is actually a very good thing that we weren't able to equip our weapons on the ship manually. Now that we have everything equipped, I'm just going to go to systems here. Because we have an extra cooler, I'm just going to remove one. We don't need both right at the moment. So I'm just going to remove one so I can save a bit of power. Hit save. Now we can go do more missions and grind money. We need 160,000 to rent a constellation. And then we'll make it back almost instantly with just one mission. Here you can see is our new weapons on the wings. And then we also got some on the front here. We just doubled our firepower, meaning we can take on bigger missions. Now that we're all geared up here, I just quickly want to manage my power. You see here, so in cooling, I'm just going to keep 2 pips in cooling. For my thrusters, I don't need that much, so I'm going to take one out of my engines and fill up my weapons completely so that I have very good firepower. Let's go open up our Moby class here. Go to contracts, go to offers, and then mercenary. Because we completed scenario 1, we can now do scenario 2, which is 31,000. Let's quickly accept it. Now I'm just going to go to the mission location. At our mission location, missiles are crazy at the moment. I just got blown up by them, by the way. So make sure you hit Alt H a couple of times. I hit mine 5 times so that we don't blow up from all of the missiles. We're going to fight a bunch of Mustangs. So let's see if we can avoid the missiles this time. Okay, here we go. First Mustang Alpha. Hopefully we don't get missiled by all of them. But we got decent firepower now. Should be able to deal with them as long as we don't get missiled here. Okay, we've got our first one down. Next one. There we go. Got our next enemy. And let's see the final enemy. I think there's 3 in total. This one is a little arrow, so a little bit more difficult for a starter ship, but we should be able to handle it. Just upstrafe a little bit and roll here and there. We'll be able to do this. Luckily for us, the arrow only has 1 shield, so nothing too crazy. Getting pretty red at the moment. Should have it in a minute. And there we go. And we managed to complete the mission as well. So that's about 30,000 that we got just from this mission. Now, if you want to, you can continue with the mercenary levels here. We have unlocked scenario 3 by completing this mission. This will give us 50,000. But if you're not able to complete scenario 3, just keep grinding scenario 2 until you get 160,000. Should take you about 5 missions to reach that number and takes about 5 minutes per mission. But because I'm more experienced, I'll go over to scenario 3 here just to earn a little bit more money, and then I'll show you where to rent the constellation. We're at the location here for scenario 3. We'll see what ships we get here. So this time around, it's a real fighter ships, right? For example, this is a Hornet. We should be able to manage as long as we upstrafe and roll just a little bit here and there and try to keep out of their firing arcs. But I'll quickly do this one just to see what we can do here. And then we should be able to go rent our first big ship to grind a lot of money with. We got the Hornet. It wasn't that difficult. It hardly shot back. Super easy. Okay, let's wait for the next wave. They're already shooting missiles, so hopefully we can avoid them. But this time around, I managed to avoid them. See if we can quickly take care of these Hornets. More Hornets, by the way. The Hornet is getting pretty red. Doing pretty okay so far, even with just a little Aurora. Our weapons is a bit small, but they're doing super good. There we go. Second Hornet. The next ships here is only Prospectors, so you will face 2 Hornets and 2 Prospectors. Prospectors don't have the biggest weapons, and they're pretty sluggish, so you can just stay behind them for the most part. So should be an easy fight. I would actually suggest that you try this fight out just to earn about 50k. So definitely would suggest this one. It's not too difficult, but you can always go back to the previous one if it's too difficult for you. Maybe you're still a newer pilot. There we go. Prospector is down. Only 1 more left. Our shields didn't go down once, so pretty easy. Prospector is super red now. She should go down any moment now. And there we go. That's an easy 50k there for us. We should have enough money to go rent a constellation now. We just completed scenario 3, right? The next scenario is 70k, and it takes about 5 minutes per scenario. So very easy to grind money. But for the next one, let's go get our constellation. So the missions is a lot easier for us. So in order to do this, we're just going to open up our map here. Type in New Babbage. And then we can route ourselves there. We're getting pretty close to Microtech here. I'm going to show you how to find the new Babbage spaceport. Maybe you don't know, maybe you're super new. So I'm also going to include that just so that you can easily find it and go rent the constellation Taurus. We're at New Babbage here to find the spaceport. Usually what I look for is for a mountainside. You can see the spaceport is just underneath me. You might come in at a different direction, but just follow the railways, and if it leads to a mountainside, usually that is the spaceport. I'm gonna land and then I'll show you exactly where to go rent your constellation. Here we go, we're at the spaceport. Let's head over to this little shop right here. We will be able to rent our ship from this terminal. Let's quickly head over. Let's see how much it will cost. Is open. So I'm going to rent it for 1 day. You can do multiple days. For example, let's say you want to grind a little bit more, then you can rent it for a little bit longer. But for 1 day, it's 160, so not too bad. Confirm. Now we've got a brand new ship. The reason why we rent the Constellation is because it has a lot of cargo space and very good weapons. Shields is also pretty decent. Let's go check it out. Here is our brand new ship. Now this thing will allow us to earn millions just because it has such good firepower and shields. Plus pretty big. Let me quickly head inside and I'll show you how to set up the power. We're in the cockpit here. To optimize our power, we want to head over to power management here. We want to turn off one cooler just so that we can save on some power. And go all the way here. We want to maximize our weapons so that we can do a lot of damage. And obviously, we want to maximize our shields, and the rest we can just throw into our engines for a little bit more maneuverability. Now we can go back to Crusader here. I'm just going to open up a map here, type in Crusader and route our way back. This will allow us to retake the missions and really start grinding. We're back at Crusader here. Let's quickly open up our Mobiglass by hitting F1. Going to contracts, the last scenario that we did was scenario 3, so we should be able to have access to scenario 4, which is 70,000. So if you want to, you can just constantly grind this over and over again, but I'm aiming to grind up all the way to scenario 6. So I'm going to do scenario 4 with you just to show you what ships we can get as well. Let's quickly accepted one and then I'll head over. Here we go, we're at our mission location. Let's see what type of ships we can get here. I'm also going to enter gimbal mode. So I'm going to press G so that I can move my mouse around. They're not popping up just yet. I'm waiting for them. Here we go, we've got our first ship here, which is a little Razor. Nothing too crazy. We can probably do this with the Aurora as well. Hitting the Razor, but we had enough money to buy the ship right, or rent it at least. This one is a raft. We'll rather focus the smaller ships first. So 2 Razors. We could have definitely done this with the Aurora. So kind of crazy that we can do this. Super easy. And each time it will be the same ships, I believe. So nothing too crazy. This one is a 70k payout. But if you need to grind a little bit more money to be able to afford the Constellation so that you can rent it, this is definitely a very good option as well to grind out. Okay, managed to kill all of the Razors. Now it's only the raft here, or is it the mole? It's not going to be too difficult. I think they have pretty decent turrets, but we should be able to avoid it, or at least tank it with the Constellation. I'm not so sure if you will be able to tank it with the Aurora. You will probably have to avoid its firing arcs, but I'm pretty sure I'll be able to do it. But I'm not so sure about the newer player if we only had an Aurora, right? But the Constellation, this is super easy. You can just face tank it with it. Definitely a very tanky ship so far. Dumped a bunch of damage into it already, but I think it's mostly because it's invulnerable in certain spots. So just check if you're doing damage to it. Otherwise, you will have to rotate and see if you can find where you can damage it. The nose is probably the best area to aim for. There we go. Even with the invulnerable spots that took about 5 minutes, that's 70k, super easy. Now comes the real money. We're starting to get to the 100k's here. Scenario 5, right? Let's go see what we can do with this. Okay, we're at our location here. I'm gonna time and see how long this one takes. Constellation should do a pretty decent job here. But let's activate our shields and see what we can do with all of these ships. Our first ship here is a freelancer. This should go pretty quickly. Just gonna dump everything into it. Already dead. Looks like the first wave was only a freelancer. Second wave, let's see how many ships there is. So the next wave has 3 ships here. Also a freelancer for our first ship. Should be super quick as well. They can't take a lot of damage. There we go, they're down. The next one here is a Vanguard. Should be able to shred it as well. There we go. It's dead. The next one here has ballistics, which is a saber. But sabers are pretty weak as well, especially for constellations, since they don't have a lot of health. There we go. Mission completed. This took me about 3 minutes to complete, so very fast for 100k. Just imagine you grinded this for an hour, you'll make a couple million. But we finally unlocked our new scenario here, which is scenario 6. So I'm quickly gonna go and do it just to see if we can grind this over and over again with a rented constellation. We're at our mission location here. Now this mission has a lot of gladiuses and a constellation that we'll need to face. So let's see what we can do. I would recommend that you kill the gladiuses first and then leave the constellation for last. Otherwise, they'll kill you. Here we go. Here's the first gladius. Already missiling us. And I believe that thing hit, but we're going to take out the gladiuses first here. There we go. Got our first gladius. Make sure we destroy it completely. So we need to up our flare count here. I'm going to go all the way to 10. Just so that we don't get completely destroyed by missiles. Lucky for us, in one mag we can destroy a gladius, I believe. Unless they avoid the fire. But we should be able to do it. So not a lot of reloading. Now there's only one constellation left. You could probably use your missiles here to shoot down the constellation. But the thing is, if you're going to repair and restock your flares, you're going to have to pay for that missiles. So that's why I'm not going to use any missiles. This constellation will have turrets as well. So you will probably have to switch shield faces every now and then, because they will get you down. But luckily, we already killed all of the gladiuses. So we're basically just sitting here, face tanking everything, and then we can just swap for shield faces if our shield ever goes down. So far, they're not really doing much to our shields. It's constantly coming back up because this thing loves strafing up constantly. So our shields just regenerate. We probably have a very fast regeneration time. So that's why it doesn't go down that quickly. Before I kill the ship, I just quickly want to show you how to regenerate your shields. You can always just fly away and show your back towards the other ship. This will allow your front shield to regenerate, right? Then you can just nose on the ship again and fight again. Because our shields regenerate so fast, we get basically a new shield very fast that can tank bigger ships, right? This is the power of bigger ships. They have different shield faces and you can just rotate as you go. You can see there the constellation is dead. That missile did do quite a bit of damage to my ship here, so I'm probably gonna go repair and then I'll do this mission over and over again. This is a very good way for you to grind a couple of million in a very short amount of time. And this didn't take me that long at all. It took me about 5 minutes just to complete this scenario 6-1. So actually pretty fast. But if this one is too difficult for you, you could always go back to the other one, which only took us 3 minutes, right? So scenario 5. It's a lot easier than this one, but you'll still make a very decent amount. This will make you a lot of money if you grind it over and over again. I hope this beginner guide was helpful so that you can earn some decent ships in-game. If it was, please leave a like. And if you want to see more videos like this, then you can watch these 2 videos right here. Thank you for watching and I'll see you in my next video.